Hello, hello, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the show. Oh my God, welcome. I hope you guys are hearing me. Okay, let me know if you are tuned in and you're connected and you're hearing me as crystal clear. Listen, girlfriend has upgraded. We've done a few changes, as you can imagine. We've been gone for a minute, but we're back. We've done a few changes. There's a new look going on. We're trying something. The Content House has launched, and it's a new day. I am so happy to be back on here with you guys. This is JL Joseph Live Show. Yours truly, JL Joseph. We have folks from the Elias Nassief Foundation stopping by this evening. It's a worthy cause, and we're going to get into the conversation. We're going to find out a little bit about why you should be part, or you should take part in the anniversary gala that's happening in just a few days, I believe, just a few days. So I want to say good evening to those of you who are tuned in wherever land you are. If you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, if you're on JL Joseph Live, if you're on JL Joseph page, I want to say good evening to you and thank you very much for joining. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I appreciate you for this. Thank you very much for joining on with me this evening. We have two wonderful people here. I mean, normally, when I start my season, my new season, I tend to do it differently. And this has been like a long time coming, putting together big content house. It has been a ginormous investment. There's a lot that had to be put on the back burner in order for this to happen. I literally had to shift my life, like everything, right? And I really wanted to be able to create a space for creatives, create a space for people to come and talk and share. Tonight I was saying to them, hey, if I knew you guys were both in Dominica, you could have come live to the studio and do this. You could have done this live. But needless to say, we're doing it. And we're hoping that you don't get any feedback. We're hoping that everything goes smoothly. And if it doesn't work out, still have you know how it is. We're dealing with the internet and technology. And it does not always work out in our favor. That's okay, but that's life. And when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. So hopefully we don't have to make any lemonade tonight because I'm drinking water. And we can have a really sweet show, and you can get the information, you can know more about the foundation, and you can have a good time with us here this evening. Thank you very much for those of you who tune in. Share the live. Make sure you hit that share button. I'm monitoring to see who's sharing the live. Share the live. Do not stay here incognito. We want you to share so other folks can get in on the action. We want people to know that this is happening now and that they should come down. So tag a friend and let someone in and let somebody know about the show that we're about to start. We have two wonderful guests who's going to be dropping by, and they're sitting together. So we're just gonna bring them on. We're just doing it tonight. We're just bringing them on tonight, and we hope that there's absolutely no feedback. Just checking out the live just to make sure that everyone is tuned in, everyone is connected. I see a few folks coming on. Share the live, hit that share button, and let's get this show on the road. So this isn't exactly a new season. This is the continuation of last season. However, we had to take a pause, as I mentioned, because I was in the process of creating my content house. It's a studio. I really wish I could show you guys, but you guys will see it soon. Look out for the videos we've been posting. Of course, all of this is through the kind compliments and sponsored by Do It Center. They've been very, 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 very supportive of this initiative. And I want to encourage folks to take part in their 7th anniversary, which continues this week. Today was really grand. I had a really good time. There was a hose sale, curtain sale, rock sale, and flower pot sale. So I took advantage of the flower pot sale. Yeah, all of a sudden I have a green thumb. I don't know who fooled me, but you know what? It's working out. The plants are not dying. Praise be to God. They're thriving, like myself. So we're just gonna keep pressing on. All right, we're just gonna keep pressing on and hope for the best. I want to bring in my guest who's on here with me this evening. I want to bring them in right about now. So let's say good evening. Let me turn on the volume here to my two lovely women stopping off here. Hi.
Hello, good
Hi,
evening.
girl. Good evening.
Oh my gosh, I hear you so good. I hope everybody's hearing you so, because we struggled so much to get everything organized, eh?
That's wonderful. If you can hear us so very well.
I know. I think I manifested before. I was like, Satan, you're a liar. This is to happen. Right? You guys hearing me okay?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So first of all, we have Miss Sampson. Those of you in Dominica, if you don't know, you know who Miss Sampson is. You know the Dominican. Like, I think I should bring her on. How Dominican are you? How Dominican are you, Miss Sampson? Because if you don't know Miss Sampson, you're not a Dominican. All right?
That's so true.
So we have Miss Sampson joining us. Miss Sampson, tell us a little bit about yourself, especially as it relates to the foundation. Let us know your connection with the foundation.
Okay, good evening to you, JL, and to all listening and all viewing public. I'm happy to be on this program this evening to speak a little more about the Elias Nassief Foundation and the upcoming Gala. I suppose, as JL said, many persons know this name. Maybe some persons have not really put a face to the name, but I think it's a wonderful opportunity to do this.
Hello. I pluck her cherry, okay, guys? Let it be known. Miss Sampson came on social media on my show.
As you know, I've been associated with the Nassief company for maybe 4 decades and more, very long time, and got involved in the foundation for more than over 20 years now. For the persons who do not know me, I worked with Springfield Trading and Belfast Estate Limited for quite a number of years. And as I said, working together with the Nassief family has really been a joy, a privilege, a growing and an experience for me. And being involved in the foundation and having to reach out to so many organizations and individuals has been of a tremendous success and benefit to me. The foundation began or was established in 1995. So it's 30 years now. And during that period of time, we have been giving out so much to charitable organizations, organizations which care for the elderly, for the very young. We have been supporting sports along the way. the health sector. We have had tremendous assistance to them. And so the foundation has been doing quite a bit over the last 30 years. And so we find it was fitting that at 30 that we should at least celebrate with our
Wow,
factors, celebrate
wow.
with our yards. It's a joy.
30 years. 30 years is a very long time. You said 30 years, and it sounded so grand to me. But 30 years ago is when I started high school. Like when you said that, I was just like, Zo, mo son vie femme, man. 30 years ago, I started high school. So, Mrs. Sams, when you said that, I was like, 30 years sounding so long. But I'm still young, right? Hello. So it's really good to have you guys on, and it's really good to have you guys celebrate 30 years of the foundation, and we'll get to know a little bit more about the foundation start. We'll get more in depth as we go along on the show this evening. I want to introduce Mrs. Nassif Reed. Since I say Mrs. Sampson, I cannot start calling her by her first name. Like it just doesn't make sense. And I've called Mrs. Sampson Mrs. Sampson. I cannot imagine myself calling her Natalie. Like I'm just like, bro. Like even if Mrs. Sampson might say, "Yeah, call me Natalie." I just I cannot imagine that, you know. So I'll do like what Dominic can say. I establish protocol, and I refer to you as Mrs. Nassif Reed. So we have Mrs. Nassif Reed joining us here this evening. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship to the
Okay,
foundation.
so my name is Mauricia Nassif Reed, and I am the granddaughter of Elias Nassief and the daughter of Philip Nassif. So the foundation was really started in 1995 by my dad, along with his siblings, who put together a substantial amount of money to start the foundation. When my dad passed last year, and before this happened, he sort of asked me to take over the foundation, which of course I accepted. So Mrs. Sampson is the one who has been with it from the beginning, from 30 years. But I have just sort of taken it. Although I knew quite a bit about it, now that I am in the middle of it, I'm seeing the foundation in a whole different light. The amount of people it has reached, the amount of, people it has helped, the communities it has uplifted. It's really wonderful. And this is done on an annual basis every year, about November, December, where over 25 to 30 organizations are helped. So, it's been just a year for me, but we're getting on board, and I really want to carry on my dad's legacy and he was very built on helping the sick, the elderly, and developing early childhood education. So I want to focus on his wishes and carry on, this whole legacy because, we need to give back. Dominica has been very good to us, and so this is a way, and it's now 30 years. And coming on last year, I felt that we needed to celebrate that legacy. So this is what this gala is about. It's a celebration of 30 years of giving back to the community.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us and the audience. I do want to add just my own experience with the Nassif group of companies. Like you guys have created such legacies across the board. I've had relationships with both sides. And when I say both sides, both entities in terms of how you guys support not just the community but entrepreneurs. I remember, Mrs. Sampson when we did that music video a couple years ago, you were like, yes, we will support. So you guys have always supported various initiatives, and not just in the community. I know you guys have helped out in sports, as a company, not just the foundation, but as a company, there's so much that you've done. I mean, not to mention the amount of people you've employed over the years. I mean, if Mrs. Sampson can say she's been there for over 4 decades, I mean, come on. That just says a lot, about the company, about the legacy, about the longevity, about how much they invest back in people, and here you are today, Mrs. Sampson. You've since retired, and I mean, you're missed dearly. I know they miss you, and but
Sure.
you're still.
I'm hanging on to her. I'm hanging on
She's
to her.
clinging, she's clinging.
By a thread.
And
Mrs. Sampson saying, "I saw Kitty my retire. I'm over there on cruise."
Yeah, not at all. I'm always willing to help.
I know. And you're such a workaholic, you and all your siblings. I think it's built into y'all how much you love to work, and you work so well, like you're just hardworking individuals, hardworking women. And I just really want to commend you, Mrs. Sampson. I never had the opportunity to, because I learned of your retirement after coming back and stuff, and I didn't get to interact with you and stuff. And I always said, one of these days I'll run into her, I'll probably just pick up the phone and call and look at how it's happening. But I really want to commend you, on the work that you've done over the years, working at Springfield Trading S Smart, the whole company, and you ran that business like an iron lady. Let me tell you, people couldn't mess around with you, right? They couldn't try you, but you were very, just a very hardworking individual, and it's something that something that you have in you that a lot of young people can learn from. And I know you are helping out with the foundation, but I hope you can also mentor women, mentor women in business who are interested in being entrepreneurs or just running businesses, because you have so much to offer, and I just really, really want to let you know how grateful I am. Every interaction I've ever had with you have always been a pleasant one. I've always been a fun one. I know you loved it when I used to come and make my laugh wave, but that's something, thing of the past. I know she gave me plenty fire, that's why I said she loved
I
it,
know,
you know
Jill.
but you've always been a wonderful individual, and I want to just wish you well on your retirement, and just tell you, continue to do the work that you do however you want to do it, if it's through volunteerism or whatnot. But I do believe a lot of women, and if there are women listening right now, whom you might probably just reach out to her. She might say yes, she might say, "Girl, leave me alone." But she will tell you as it is, based on, just catch her on a good day. Catch her probably right on a Monday, right after church on Sunday. You might you might be able to get better results. So I just wanted to share that. But we're here to talk about the Elias Nassief Foundation, and the foundation's mission is uplifting communities through compassion. And obviously, that has evolved over the past 3 decades. How do you see, or how have you seen, Mrs. Sampson? I want to probably get that from you because you've been there from the inception. How has the foundation really evolved? Like, what when you think back 30 years when it started, what was happening and what is happening today as a foundation is concerned?
Well, when we started many years ago, and the foundation is registered, and the foundation has its articles of association and bylaws. And as I said earlier, one of the main business of the foundation really is awarding educational scholarships or grants to citizens, as well as the development of business acumen, productivity, entrepreneurship, professions, skills, helping in sports, non-profit organizations, charitable organizations, religious organizations. So it's broad based. And so when we started, we start for a while and meditate and say, well, okay, maybe which are the most important institutions or organizations that would really like to help. And so we look at the elderly, because we felt that the elderly, they have contributed so much to society that in their older days, they need to be taken care of, given the good care that they really need. Because oftentimes persons like to neglect their older persons, and we felt that if we could support these institutions which take care of the older persons, like the Dominica Infirmary, many of the senior citizens homes that we have, we think that would be one way of contributing or giving back to the seniors who have made significant contribution to development of the country and even their communities. Then we look at the very young, like the daycare centers and the preschools, and we figure out, well, these are the young ones who will grow up to take the place of the older ones. So why not support them? Why not go with them? So we brought in quite a number of the preschools, not only in Roseau, but throughout Portsmouth, Woodford Hill, other preschools, Maho, and so on. And so we started contributing because even at that time, to many of these preschools, they were not government run. They were operated by private individuals, and getting funds to even pay their teachers was very, very difficult. So the foundation decided, well, that is one area that we can really help with early childhood education. And that age there is so important. It's a lot of learning material that the teachers really had to be buying. And even when we made the contribution to these institutions, these contributions will really use to buy a lot of their learning material. I mean, it's only now that government has incorporated early childhood education into the primary school. But before it was really run by a lot of private individuals. So they were very, very happy for that. And so we felt when we started, initially we were paying something like $50,000 every year to quite a number of these institutions. And now we pay between $70,000-$80,000 on an annual basis to many of these institutions. And one thing I can tell you, JL, they look forward to these annual contributions. And even when they have not heard from them, they will call, are we getting anything this year? Are we getting anything this year? So
Trying to be modest, trying to be modest about
Just
it.
to interrupt here because last year I did my first donation ceremony that we had, and as she said, it just melted my heart to see how appreciated they are. They
Wow.
depend every year, and it's just amazing the appreciation and the thank yous and so grateful. So
Uh-huh.
we want to continue that.
mhm.
Yeah.
And even GL, while I speak about that on early education, even maybe some of the schools that may face challenges, or maybe they need some repair to the school, we would consider them, even if they are private schools and maybe they have problems meeting their salaries to their teachers, we would support them somehow. So the foundation has done a lot. We have contributed also to some religious organizations. So we have done quite a lot in terms of giving. And for giving for so many years, we feel, well, we need a celebration to celebrate what we have been doing. For example,
Wow.
all during COVID, the foundation donated a ventilator to the Princess Margaret Hospital at the time, in the region of what, 80 plus $1,000. So we have done quite a bit, and a lot of things we do it. But
I was about to say in secret.
yeah,
Like
we do
it
that
feels
without
like it's like you're not looking
the
for any.
people
Yeah.
from, because as you know, the Nassief family are, well, I should say, they are very quiet people. They don't like much flair in whatever they do. You understand?
Mhm.
So even today, the Fitzgerald Hospital, or Gerald Hospital in Portsmouth, we have contributed to them in terms of industrial washer, dryer. We did that over a few years ago, and we give without
Yeah,
flair.
Dad was very humble.
Yes, he was
Very
that type of
humble.
humble person.
He didn't really publicize
Publicize
much.
what we do, but we have done quite a bit over this number of years. And even when I think of the retired employees of Elias Nassief, we continue to give them on an annual basis. We never
Wow.
we never wavered in supporting the past employees, who have contributed so much. to the business of Elias Nassief, and so we continue to recognize them also on an annual basis. And they are very, very appreciative of these donations, So we recognize their hard work also through the foundation, you know.
Mrs. Nassif Reed, I wanna ask you a little bit about Elias Nassif and even also your dad. I mean, Mrs. Sampson can share with us, as well. But I wanted kind of understanding of how did their personal values shape the vision and the ongoing work of the foundation? Because obviously, like, people don't just wake up and say we want to give. It comes from their own personal values, what they how they were brought up, even how they got their start, and even how they were able to build and who assisted, and so forth. As the granddaughter, obviously, of Elias Nassif, you would have known him growing up as, I believe, as a child. And if you could share a little bit about who he was as an individual, I'd love that.
Okay, so my grandparents moved there from Lebanon in the 1920s because of the war, literally penniless. And they started, their stores.
I'm always you say wait a while. You say you say they moved from Lebanon. I'm always so like curious. Like, why did they pick this rock? Like, how did they come up? Like, did you ever ask like how do you leave Lebanon and say I come in Dominica? Like,
Well, his brother was actually in Suriname
okay,
and had just opened a store and invited Elias to come.
okay,
So he went to Suriname, but he did not want to compete with his brother. So he decided to go to Martinique. And he went to Martinique and there was a store for sale. But then he decided that the French prices were just too high. He wouldn't be able to do well. So his friend Ayub Dib was in Dominica and said, Elias, why don't you come and visit me in Dominica? So he came to Dominica and fell in love with Dominica. And he had had a dream, funny enough, about a mountainous place with lots of water and rivers running through it. He landed in Dominica. He thought, oh my gosh, this must be the place. So he loved Dominica and he settled there. And again, Grandpa was very humble, very, very hardworking. There's this joke that he used to sell the poo mashers. The things you call Toyotas now, they used to call
yes,
poo mashers in those days. And I think he was the first one to bring them. And his company grew, and then he got interested in soap, and Dominica coconut products came about, and then he had Geneva Estate, and he just went on and on. He was definitely an astute businessman. And then I think my dad kind of just learned from him. And my dad was the only one to go overseas to be educated to get a degree. Because at that time, things were very difficult. So he was allowed to go to Canada to McGill. He studied chemical engineering. And when he
really.
was finished, he came back and opened, under the guidance of his father, Dominica Coconut Products, and started manufacturing soap. And again, very humble, giving very quietly, always helping. I wrote a book on my dad, and there's a chapter just about interviewing people and what memories they have of my dad. And it was just amazing. The stories that I didn't even know about, people that he helped, situations that he helped fix. I mean, it was just mind blowing. But again, he never said anything, very humble. So, yeah, I mean, they give me both a sense of just being very kind and compassionate and trying to help whenever they can, and being very humble about it. I was also quite surprised that a lot of people still don't know about the foundation. So that's something I'm trying to change a little bit, by doing this gala, making people more aware and trying to do more expansive things to help more in the community, trying to get younger people involved in the foundation.
Mhm.
So all these are plans, but first the gala.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing a little bit about your grandpa and your dad, and in terms of, their values, and even learning, I mean, some of the stories I know, I've heard because of obviously of my affiliation with the GEMS Foundation through Gregor Nassif, and the Philip Nassif Foundation, which is the entrepreneurship foundation within the entrepreneurship pillar, and my role on that board. But I've always been interested and intrigued, and even during, after the passing of your dad, just hearing the stories, and all of these things, and reading all of the information that was put together on that lovely booklet that was given to people who attended the funeral. I actually still have my copy, I because I'm always so interested in people's history and where people come from, and I feel like we need to continue telling stories, of these people, and have audio recordings of it so that people can go back and they can listen. Because in 1920, like, who would have thought, like 1920 was a long time ago, and coming to Dominica and having a dream, and building this business, and hiring so many people. So like Mrs. Sampson says, some people receive every year, still receive contributions, from the foundation, and that, of course, in itself is commendable. Obviously, we talk about all of the, the humble beginnings, the triumphs, and all of this, but I'm sure the foundation might have had its own challenges over the years. How has the foundation, overcome some of these challenges, and if not, how have they overcome? How has it made? What sort of challenges made it stronger, Mrs. Sampson? You might have some insight on that.
Well, Jill, as you know, I mean, having paid out money over those number of years and making contributions, it's not easy, right? You sometimes have to think of where the money would be coming from. But importantly, we have been able to invest some of the funds of the foundation so that we can get more money to be able to pay out when we have to. So we have to be proactive in doing all of this, knowing that every year we pay, and we want to continue with that legacy of always, contributing and remembering the less fortunate, particularly at Christmas time. So we have to find new and innovative ways of ensuring that the foundation continue to be operational, and how do we get the cash to be able to make these contributions on an annual basis. But we thank God, as praying people, as people who trust in the Lord. He has always been there at our side, helping us and seeing us through these many years. And maybe when we are not sure how it's going to happen, God makes it happen. And we are so thankful for that.
And
That's wonderful.
sometimes we get requests and we have to make difficult decisions on who is, who we decide to give at a certain time. And so yeah, there are
And how
challenges.
much to give, because they can ask for 50 and you only have 10. Like, how do you turn that 10 into 50? Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
want.
I know you speak of the elderly. Focus, a lot of focus seems to be on the elderly as well as on, children, especially early childhood, education. In your view, what would you say probably are some of the most pressing community needs in Dominica? Besides these, obviously, these are the two that you select. What would you say is most pressing? Are you guys there? Because I see your screen went black for a second. All right, I think we might have lost them. Let's see if they're gonna come back. All right, if you guys can hear me, we are not able to hear you. We may have lost you guys. So just drop off and come back on. If you're just tuning in right now, we were just speaking to, Mrs. Natalie, Sampson, as well as Mrs. Marusha Nassif Reed, who are part of the Elias, uh, Nassif Foundation. they're just coming back in now. So that's why I got a little distracted. So, and we're talking up, they're having a gala that's coming up in just a few days. We lost them for a moment, but they're back and we can continue from where we left off.
Yeah. So
Hi.
what? Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all. I tell you, the internet does be interneting, and it's okay when things happen. We just keep pressing on. We just keep moving on. We don't make nothing no big deal, No big sin. No big sin whatsoever. All
So,
right.
yeah,
So,
what was your last question?
so before we dropped off, I was interested in knowing, a little bit about, some of the things that you may consider to be most pressing in terms of needs in Dominica. Because we know your focus is on the elderly. We know your focus is on children. But in terms of general needs, what would you say from a foundation's perspective? I'm sure you get requests from all different types of organizations and entities and communities. What would you say are the most pressing needs?
Yeah, we do get quite a number of requests during the year, but as we said, we have to kind of wait, look at what exactly that is being requested from us, whether we think it falls within the mandate of the foundation, and if it is something that we think that can benefit the community, from which the request comes. Um,
For example, when COVID-19 happened, we thought of the ventilator. It was suggested to us, and we thought, of course, this is a great need. We need this right now. Of course, a ventilator is very expensive. We did not have it, to think that year. And so that year, I think our entire donation went to the ventilator. Am I right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
So,
perfect.
we have to make decisions like that sometimes.
Wow. Yes. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That Thank you for sharing that with us. But you guys are celebrating 30 years. November 29th, Fort Chong Hotel. It's a huge gala. First of all, what inspired it? And obviously, you said you're doing it because you've been doing this for 30 years. But what exactly you want the outcome to be following the gala on the 29th?
Okay, so I'm guilty. I'm the one who inspired it because I've done this many times in the US for my kids' school. So I thought it would be a great opportunity just to celebrate the foundation. For 30 years, they have done absolutely nothing. It's just been giving, giving, giving. And I thought it was a good time to get, to make the public aware of the foundation and what we do. So we will have silent auction items. Oh my gosh, and people have been so generous. We have
But
supermarket.
you've been giving it, so you will receive. You've been giving. I
Thank
mean, the
you.
Bible doesn't
The
lie,
law of life, right?
right?
Yeah, we have restaurants, we have mani pedis, we have books, we have supermarkets, we have gift certificates to physiotherapy. I mean, all kinds of things. Weekends. And then we have 5 live auction items, which are the higher price items.
Wow.
So one of the special ones for that for me is my mother is a very great artist, and she was very popular here and in the Caribbean in the 70s, Gala Nassief. And she doesn't paint anymore. She's almost 89, and I begged her to do a painting for the gala. I said, Mommy, I'll bring you the brushes, I'll bring you everything you need. And she agreed to do it. So she's currently painting a piece for the gala. So I am excited to see that.
That is wonderful.
She had a
That
book
is,
of, she used to paint a lot. But of course, time goes on, and then you just don't have the
and with
capacity.
age as well, you get tired. The hands probably not working as it used to.
Yeah.
Patience, inspiration. So many things
Yeah.
contribute to not wanting to do it anymore.
We have a
Wonderful.
weekend in Barbados. We have a dinner prepared by a Lebanese cook who's really good. Yeah, we have pharmacy gift certificates. I mean, we have a lot of great gift baskets, jewelry. Lots of great things.
So, Jen, you can't miss that.
You
Okay?
can't.
So
Make sure
tell
you
us a
get the
little bit
ticket.
about. Tell us
There
a
are
little
lots
bit.
of
I was about to tell
items
you.
there I think you would love.
There are lots of items that you call that I think I would love. I was even just before I was requesting a mani and petty before we got started. I sent a message for can I get one as soon as possible, right? So, look, Philip Reed is saying I'm going to put my name in the hat to buy the painting. Wow, it's an auction. Okay, it's an auction. I like that. He's like that is paid in the family.
You know who's Philip?
That's my husband.
That's your son.
Oh, your son, that's your son? Yes, your son's gonna buy it before anybody else. Before anybody, I agree with him.
You're gonna have
I
a lot
agree
of
with him.
competition.
Yeah, you too, eh? You gonna fight for it too?
Who, me?
Yes.
I don't know.
Wow,
But,
I'm looking forward to seeing what
yeah,
she paints.
but really, we do appreciate the persons who have really come on board, to contribute and to support
Yes,
that
very
initiative.
much
It has been
appreciated.
very overwhelming, I must say. So we look forward to people also purchasing their tickets. So,
Yes, so
it's
tell
just
us a little bit about the tickets, where people can get the tickets, and then right after, if you could share with us a little bit about how you expect the funds to be raised, to or how it will further assist with the foundation's work.
Okay, so tickets are available online at eliasnassieffoundation.org. They're also available at the front desk at Fort Young Hotel, Fresh Mart Pharmacy, and Kaike Boutique. And
it's
various
pharmacy.
people,
It's my pharmacy.
sorry, S-Mart Pharmacy.
Pharmacy, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And various people have tickets. So it's not difficult to get tickets. Yeah, and what was the follow-up question?
So the tickets are available. How much are they, and how would it go? Like, what is the plan? Because I know normally when people get tickets, they're like, okay, how does it go? Is it going to continue to help with the foundation's work? Like, what do you guys have a plan? Because sometimes you say we do a gala, and the funds raised, we're going to use it for this.
Okay, so my hope is to expand the way the foundation helps. So not only these people that really focused on like the sick, the elderly, early childhood education. I would like to get high school kids involved in volunteering, maybe visiting the elderly, helping clean up an area. I would like to get involved with sports teams and sponsor the sports teams. I would like to maybe give scholarships to certain deserving children. There's so many ways we can expand our giving. So that would be our next step, and that will
Wonderful.
come in time because we have a new board now because most of the board members who were my dad's brothers and sisters have sort of retired. So the board is made up of Elias's grandchildren, great grandchildren, and Mrs. Sampson, of course, and Janelia, who helps us a lot as well. So yeah, we're trying to train the younger generation so that when we move on, they already have it in their hands to continue the legacy.
Speaking of
But
younger generations,
But
obviously we
Giselle,
want to. Yes, go
Giselle,
ahead.
it's important to note, she said that most of them have retired. Remember, I had a first retirement, so I have a second retirement to come in. You realize that?
You're retiring from retiring, right? No. So you talk about the younger children and all of that, but I'm interested to know what sort of advice would you give younger generations who want to give back to their communities, based on how your father and your grandfather's legacy is being continued through their children and grandchildren. How or what sort of advice would you like to give to young generations who they may not even know how to start or where to start? Any advice you could provide?
Well, I think it's the fundamental duty of each person to help where they can. Many people don't choose their circumstances, And a small act can really change a life, whether it's through education, a place to rest your head, or to help over somebody over a bump, you know? It is not something I feel obligated to do. It gives me life, it gives me a purpose in life. And I feel that young people should get involved more in volunteering, helping with whatever foundations, helping in whatever way they can, because it is such a good feeling to give back to society and to help others and to see the improvement that happens when you do. You know, we're on this earth not just for ourselves, but for others as well. And so I think young people need to focus a little bit more on that. And
Thank you.
hopefully the foundation will give an avenue for them to do that, you know?
Yes, yes. Obviously, we also want to have a sense of how do you envision the Elias Nassief Foundation in the next 10 or even 30 years? Like another 30 years, you know?
Well, because of the legacy that has already been left, and the young people now are now involved, as Marcia said, the grandchildren, the great grandchildren are now involved. So I want to believe that there is hope that the foundation will be able to carry on its mandate for a long time to come, and so the importance of really bringing them in and grooming them, educating them at a very young age, because they are the ones who are really going to continue that legacy. We are outgoing. So I continue to give as much help and support as I can with Marusia's leadership. Very good, still in leadership. That should be able to drive the foundation, and with the young ones coming in, they too can make their contributions. So we meet regularly, and so they are quite aware of the work of the foundation and the intentions of the foundation and where we would like the foundation to be in the future.
Wonderful. Somebody just sent me a message and asked at the gala, would there be performances? Any honor? Is anyone going to be honored, or so any honorees or any surprises? I don't know if they know something that I don't know.
Well, the tickets include, you know, dinner, drinks, appetizers, the silent auction, the live auction, and then we have Tasha P performing after the live auction is finished. So yes, we do have
Yes,
entertainment.
there will be.
And there will be a few people speaking on how the foundation has sort of helped them
Yeah.
or benefited them through the years.
Wonderful, wonderful. That sounds really good. That sounds really good. I final question here. I think we've spoken about a few things, and I don't know if there's anything else that we missed. But I would like to know, what message would you like to share with supporters, donors, and even the communities that have stood with you through your journey?
What is asking?
Hello?
Yes, you guys hearing me?
We're not,
Yeah,
yes,
can you
okay,
please repeat that?
we're not seeing you, but that's
But
okay.
yeah, that's fine. But can you please repeat that question?
All right, my question was, I don't know what happened. Let's see what happened here. You guys heard me, right?
Yes,
I can
no,
hear you.
yeah.
You just
So
don't
that's okay. If you heard me still, let's just roll.
Mhm.
Uh, what message would you like to share with any of your supporters or donors, or even community members that have stood with you through this journey?
Oh, well, we just would like to encourage them to be part of the gala, because the celebration, as we said, I mean, we have given to them over those many years, and if they can really join us at this gala to be part of the celebration, to be part of all the exciting things we have happening there, and their presence would mean so much to us. You know, I mean, it's to see them on an annual basis when we have these donation events, but coming together in a different setting and forum would mean so much to us. So we look forward to seeing them. It's just $250 for a ticket. I mean, we have given so much over the years, and so just a small contribution of $250 to purchase a ticket and be there for us to to celebrate in grand style.
And know that
Yes.
you are, you are paying, or when you bid on items, it is going to help for sure.
The community.
People to help communities. You can be guaranteed of that. That legacy has been going for 30 years and it's not going to change.
Wonderful. So, guys, if you're viewing right now, we want to encourage you guys to get your tickets. The tickets are available online. They're also at S Smart Pharmacy, at Kai K Boutique, and also from board members and various folks in the community. You can get them online at Elias Foundation, Elias Nassief Foundation.org. You can get your tickets on there as well. And if you're in the diaspora and you cannot make it, but you'd like to make a donation through the purchase of a ticket, you can do so. So we encourage you to do so. That could be your way of giving back to the community that helped mold you, make you who you are today. Because they're helping the smaller ones and the older ones, right? So that's your way of contributing. And you can also support someone and say, hey, why don't you go to the gala? I'll pay for you. Why not? Support someone and take part in this. I have a large diaspora community that logs in. I mean, I can almost pat myself on the back with my 1.6 million views a month on average. So I want to encourage them to get their tickets and support of the foundation. You're helping communities, you're helping Dominicans, you're helping individuals who are less fortunate, or not necessarily just less fortunate, but vulnerable, in need of extra assistance. And I'm sure we didn't consider ourselves less fortunate when we got that defibrillator at the Princess Margaret, now the China, Dominica China Friendship Hospital. Like, I'm sure we didn't consider ourselves less fortunate. It was just something that we saw there was a need, and it was something that was given to us through your foundation. And we're absolutely grateful for the work. I mean, I'm from the north, so I could probably say thank you for the Posse Massive, and I just really want to commend you guys on the work that you guys have done in silence, so to speak, right? Over the last 30 years, this is probably your first big shaboom, coming on here and saying, hey, we're doing this. And sometimes people are even still reluctant to do it. But obviously, when we have people who live in first world countries where they sing galas, they want to be all fancy, right? So Mrs. Nassief is like, you know what? Let's do the celebration fancy, right? And let's wear something nice and sparkly and pretty and come out and look good and enjoy and have drinks and eat good food and enjoy each other's company and celebrate 30 years of giving back to the community. And I really want to commend you guys and your foundation and all the board members for continuing the work, even when it may have seemed challenging to do so. Because COVID-19 was a rough year for many people. It was a rough time for many. Many businesses suffered, during that time,
Yeah.
and we're truly grateful. I want to give you guys the final say. I want to open up the floor to you. And if there's anyone on the live who would like to share any thoughts, share any wishes to Mrs. Nassif, Reed, and Mrs. Sampson, you can do so. But I'd like to leave the final word to them. So, Mrs. Sampson, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I just want to say one final thing, though, that to the persons who will purchase tickets or are interested in purchasing tickets, the $250 per ticket, let us keep in mind that it is not really to the foundation. It is really to give back to the communities, that we have been giving over the years. So I want to exhort as many Dominicans as possible to purchase their tickets and to be part of that gala. I think it's going to be very exciting. If you live in the diaspora, you reside in the diaspora and you cannot make it, maybe you may want to buy a ticket and give it to a friend, or you may just want to contribute the cost of the tickets to be able to give back, and giving back over these many years has really been a joy for us, a pleasure for us. We always look forward to the end of the day of the year when we can meet with our benefactors and really bring them together, sharing their experiences and meeting and greeting. It's truly a joy. And I really look forward to that gala where we can meet even many more persons and just really make it a grand celebration for the foundation. So thank you very much for having me. It was a joy, a pleasure.
Thank you,
And
Mrs. Sampson.
just to add to Mrs. Sampson, this is November. December is coming up. It's the season of giving, right? So let's all try and give a little bit back to our community, and buying a ticket is a great way to do that. And come to the gala. You'll have a great time. As Jael said, it's the time to dress up and look fancy and come and have a good
Socialize.
time,
Yeah.
socialize, get some items you might need it at a really reduced cost, because when you do a silent auction, the bids start very low compared to the
Right,
actual value of the product. So
right,
good time
right.
to do that. So we're inviting everybody to come and make this a great success. It's the first celebration ever for the Elias Nassief Foundation.
Thank you to both of you. And I see Philip Reedy saying, "Great job, Mrs. Sampson and Mom. I will be there." Chris is also from Saint Lucia. Is sending love from Saint Lucia. Chris Charles. Reno Esprit saying hi. London in the house. London, I mean, y'all, Zabwav. This time of night, ça d'ouvre jour. Um, Sandra Toulon is saying, "Great job, ladies. Very nice and proud of." Let me just bring up all of it so you can see, so you can get an idea as to what folks are saying. If you guys want to share, you can do so. And I'll bring up the comments. So Sanjay saying, "Great job, ladies. Very nice and proud of all of the work or the hard work to give back." Uh, she's also that's a little note from Philip Reed. "Great job, Mrs. Sampson and Mom." So anybody else who shares, we'll try our best to bring up your messages up on the screen. But I want to say thank you to both of you for joining me here this evening. It was a pleasure having you on, and I want to wish you guys well on the gala. That's November the 29th, happening at the Fort Chang Hotel. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be a grand event. It's an event to look your best, but also do it while giving back to the community who's helped groom you, grow you, and get you to where you are today. Thank you to you, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you much. Thanks much.
Enjoy your weekend
A
You
pleasure.
too.
Thank you. Same here.
and have yourselves a wonderful evening, okay?
Thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
Gail. Thanks much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And that was it from the Elias Nassief Foundation anniversary. 30 years, guys. 30 years celebration. That is something else. Listen, I'm feeling old. Just hearing 30 years. 30 years ago, I was just starting high school. But it's a wonderful initiative. We want to encourage you, wherever you are, to be part of it, whether you want to be there in person or whether you want to be there in spirit and donate towards a good cause. See you on November the 29th at the Fort Chang Hotel. Don't forget, if you have not gotten your tickets, you can purchase them at eliasnassiffoundation.org. Thanks to the foundation for stopping by. It was a pleasure having them here on the show. And I'll say goodnight, guys. I don't even know when I'm having another show. I'm going to have to ask my producer, Samaj, when are we having another show? I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. This was literally, it was like they needed us, reached out. I was in the process of putting together everything for my content house. I was like, I need to be part of this. I need to help. Let's do this. That's literally what it was, okay? And I'm glad we did. And I hope you guys support this worthy cause. And I'll see you on our next show. Stay tuned, follow, like, subscribe. If you don't subscribe, then you're not going to know when I go live again. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, good night.